Hi, my name is Olivia Ambani. Welcome to my channel. I'm a singer-songwriter and I've been wanting to do this for years. But this year, 2020, I said, is a year I'm gonna come on YouTube and kind of share a bit about my journey so far. So today I'm going to be talking about the lessons that I've learned while working on my album. And yes, 7 lessons. I learned very many, but I'm just gonna share 7. The first thing that I learned was it takes time. Now, wow, when I was starting the process, I thought it would take like 1 year or a couple of months, but it took me 4 to 5 years actually to get it all done. I was so frustrated, but the lesson I learned is things can take time and just to be patient with myself in the whole process. The second thing that I learned was it's great to perform the music even before the album is ready, even before you select singles. So I got this great advice from an amazing lawyer, singer, June Gashui. I kind of consulted her before I started the process, and she gave me some really great insights. So one of the things she said was, yes, definitely, perform the music before the album is ready. This was super useful because when I was selecting my single, I was able to kind of gauge which songs I felt the audience was connecting to more. So yeah, it was really useful to just kind of perform the songs before the album was ready. The third thing that I learned was when picking a producer, their energy and personality matters. So it's more than just their skill. So when I was selecting a producer, I really wanted someone who would connect, not just connect with me, but who would be open to my feedback, who would be patient. So I kind of went with my gut. That's kind of what I used to guide me with which producer I need to work with. Obviously, listening to what they've done was important, but then eventually what I realized in the whole process was I needed somebody who I was comfortable working with, who I could be open with when I wasn't happy with things or when I wanted things changed. So that's the third lesson that I learned, is that to just kind of be aware of like the producer's personality, the way they communicate. That's really important. So the fourth thing that I learned was to have a contract before I start working with a producer. So luckily this was something that I had in mind and I actually implemented, but it really solidified as a lesson during the whole process because, when we were done with most of the album and I released a single, the contract was really useful because we didn't now have to negotiate like royalties, how much I'd get when, the music was on streaming sites. So I found the contract really useful. The other things that we had in the contract were like payment, how much we pay, who owned the masters. And so I just would really advise anyone who's working with a producer on a project, just have a contract, draw up a contract. You could possibly ask the producer if they have a contract they give to artists that you could maybe adjust to make sure you're both happy with it, or you could go to an entertainment lawyer to kind of help you draw up a contract. I went to an entertainment lawyer, but my producer already had a contract, and so I just kind of took that contract to an entertainment lawyer and we kind of talked through it, and I added a few bits that I felt that I wanted. So that was something that was really helpful for me. And the fifth lesson that I learned was to get clear on what I'm paying for. So when I was working with my producer, or before I started working with him actually, I asked a lot of questions of what like the fee would include. So the fee that we negotiated ended up including studio time, BGVs or background vocals, also instrumentalist, and he would obviously create the tracks as well as mix the tracks. This was super useful to know upfront, so I knew when I'm paying him, like I don't have to worry about these additional things. So I would definitely recommend, ask questions like what exactly does the amount you're paying a producer include? This is super useful, so you don't have to worry later on, do you have to pay more? And I just feel it's great because then you get clear on what you're paying for, and if there's an additional cost, then you can prepare and budget for it. This brings me to point number 6, about payment plans. So ask for a payment plan. That's something that I actually was able to get from my producer. He actually recommended it. So the payment plan that we had was tied to deliverables. So the first thing that, kind of the guiding for the payment plan was when like the track was ready, I paid one part of the payment. When I laid my vocals, that was the next part of the payment. And then I think the final payment was done once he had mixed all the tracks. So it was really, really useful to just like have the payment plan to kind of guide the whole process. And then also it really helped me in terms of budgeting and savings. I was able to save most of my money in a money market fund that was interest earning. So this really helped me when it was time to pay. I had the money. So that's kind of a sub point to point number 6, is kind of when you're negotiating a payment plan, do your very best to actually pay on time. This kind of builds trust. And I really saw like the whole ease of working with my producer when I was able to kind of pay on time. This kind of made him feel like, okay, cool, she's gonna pay. And then the last point number 7 or lesson that I learned was to be kind to myself and the people that I'm working with. The whole process, as I said in the beginning, took way longer than I expected, and it was super frustrating at some parts because I was like, why are we not done? Why is this not working out the way I expected? So I just kind of learned in the whole process to be kind to myself and to be patient. Like, things will work out in the end, and even if they're not, there's a lesson to be learned in it all. So I think that's about it. Those are 7 lessons I learned. As I said, there are many, many others that I learned, but I just decided to share these 7. Thank you for staying till the end of the video. I hope you found this useful. Feel free to comment below if you have any questions about any of the points that I raised, or if you have any advice. That would be brilliant. Like, feel free to comment below. I'm always open to learning new things. And yeah, if you'd like to connect with me on my social media platforms, I will put the links below. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on Twitter. And yes, that's all I have to say for today. Thank you once again for giving me your time and your energy. I super appreciate it, and hope to be doing more videos soon. Bye.